too.
He's starting to feel more like himself today. He was carrying
Was
his
that-
around.
I don't think I would classify George as sweet.
No, my dog is a bit, my dog also is a bit of an asshole, to put it nicely.
You guys are live
Your
on
dog?
YouTube.
We're live.
Really?
So everybody
I've
got to
never
see
seen
what
one.
it was.
Wow.
No, he
Thanks,
just
man.
thinks like crazy outside, like everyone else is.
You
like-
have her, so I can tell.
I'm
He's a
a
jerk
jerk in
too.
that respect.
You are.
It's something about the job.
Thanks,
And then
Nate.
yeah, historical survey of all the buildings, the properties, this is the last one that we've done, so we're actually
Wow, that's
Brenda had
fantastic.
it in her possession and she gave us
You
a
knew
copy
he-
of
you
it,
didn't
but someone
put
gave it back, so.
Yeah, you told me that story once. That's so funny.
That'll make things a lot easier.
This is that's the original survey that was the last survey that was done.
That's good to have.
So that's everything,
That's copies for you.
that's our only copy of Brenda, yeah.
Okay, wow.
So we might want to scan it,
Yeah.
even though it's huge.
That'll have to be a not today. thing. It'll take me here till then.
Thank you for doing that.
It's just a woman.
So we're good, he said, are we ready to go?
We have to wait for her down.
Oh, mine ran off too. so
She
mine-
ran to the senior center to get his
Yeah.
letter.
There's a kid.
Come up with
Oh,
some.
and I can talk before you get started if you want.
Yeah.
I can tell you about the 4th of July celebration.
Oh,
It's being moved. Okay, from the field, and the reason, the fire department wanted to move it from the field
Over to here, right?
over, yes. And because no one's going into the field, and they wanted to move things downtown to more of the central area of downtown. Main Street will continue to be open, so we're dumping people downtown at our businesses and also improve. So if you wanted to do something on for that evening,
Yeah.
the goal is to have something during the parade, or after the parade, in between parade time and firework time, dark, around 10. So I can
And
tell
I
you
said,
when
you're
it
gonna
is.
set them off behind the building. This way, wouldn't
That
it?
would not look like Disney World.
And we could park all over the town.
I mean, you could let
And
people,
I mean, bring their lawn
the upside
chairs.
to doing that, they could sit on the lot of, it wouldn't let people sit on the lot and then it would go above the property. That would look cool.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
That would be cool. And then they would have that big street behind it for their dog, to actually set them off on.
That road behind the buildings.
Yeah, like your middle road.
Oh, man,
That's
that'd be,
smart, actually.
that would be right.
It would. Well, what we were doing was putting them off the
So it's
strip
close
of
to Main
land.
Street, but I think if you were even on Main Street, you're not gonna miss them. I mean.
You're not gonna miss
yeah.
them, but after, I believe it's 8 o'clock, I'm not sure of the exact time. We'll have to shut the street down, but only we're shutting the street down past your
Water.
gate. Past
Oh,
your
you
gate.
did, okay.
So we're dumping people right in
So
there.
you're gonna do it
If you wanna
sometime.
have a concert, if you wanna have car show, if you wanna do anything, whatever you wanna do. Saturday, the 2nd of July,
Is the day you're doing it?
yes, and the rain date is the 3rd. And we're having a street fair on Water Street, so we're,
That sounds,
yeah.
that sounds really cool.
So will the activities kind of start like early in the day and carry out throughout the whole day?
No.
Okay.
It's just from parade time to
When's parade time?
6 PM.
So it's all evening,
Yeah, parade time to up to the
So like
fireworks.
9, I think.
9 or 10. It's been
9.
10, closer to 10 the last.
It
couple
has
years.
been. And that way we thought that if the downtown businesses wanted to get involved, they could. If Time Bistro wants to serve food out the back door, like Bistro Fries or something like that, they could.
Mhm.
We're probably gonna have a beer garden.
I'm in.
Yep. Just shut the street. Enzo's lot there, they've already asked for that, and that's where the children's area is gonna
The
be,
grass area.
the grassy area. So, yeah, food vendors, all of that. If you want food vendors over there, just walk them across the bridge. The only thing is, I think they're gonna have to, they may shut the bridge down right before the fireworks.
The walking bridge?
Yeah.
Shut the walking bridge down?
They might have to, I'm not sure.
Where are they setting up? In the parking lot, the city parking lot, or are they doing?
I'm
it
down
on
a
the
bit.
actual roads?
So, because we're leaving that all for parking, the
Mhm.
city parking lot.
Does
So
it-
it's-
Does that allow that?
Like in
housing
front of
development has
Piercy's.
no way of getting out of their housing development, I don't know, do
Who?
they?
Who's that?
That housing development back there has no other way out of their development, though, do they?
Which housing?
Yeah.
They do? There's another way
Down
out?
there, so,
Yeah,
So back there where we
So
walk,
they have no way out.
Uh-huh.
they do have a way out?
Yeah.
Oh, way back there?
I get, yeah, back there, because if they're blocking this down, that neighborhood has another way out, I just don't know where it is.
Have we got a cool picture of the whole town? Is that the one you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about that neighborhood that we, like, when we got petition signatures.
Oh,
back
for
there.
the sanitation.
Yeah, back there.
Oh, okay.
It'll be really fun, going up to the top of the library when they set the fireworks off.
last year we were at the library and it looked so cool with the library in front of it. Weirdo here loves fireworks.
Oh, my God. My dog just completely freaked out.
No, he
That
doesn't.
and guns and everything
mine
else. I
too.
mean, they're hiding
Oh.
and.
No, I took him to a sporting place shoot. Blast, cut blast.
Okay.
He used to sit like this. I mean, just.
Okay.
Daddy is under my bed, it's this big, and she's 140 pounds.
Yeah.
that's
Don't
bad.
get in the bathroom.
Oh, my gosh. I wish I could get my dog in the bathtub.
All right, I think we're good now, are we good?
I believe we're good. Everybody's back. Let's go ahead and call it to order. Everybody get a chance to approve or look over the minutes. Oh, no problem. He was just.
I'll make those.
Making a motion. Can we get a second? All right. All in favor? All against? So approved. Did I get a chance, or everybody get a chance to review the treasurer's report? Looks like we're rich. $14,559.71.
I need to write a check for, we need to write the check for the lawn services, the invoices you sent me to the city, so that still needs to happen, so maybe this next week, you and I can get together and get Nate and my signature to get you guys the city back their check for mowing it, Arnold.
Okay.
Very cool. All in favor to approve, or do I get it first?
First.
I'll second.
Okay. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
All against? The treasurer's report is approved.
Oh, I have a question. Back on the minute, sorry. Anna, did you submit that budget request?
Just
today?
I did. I sent it to Judy, but I was told that we had to wait till your budget.
You
was
will get it when we go over it on next Thursday.
Yeah.
I just did a
Yeah.
quick one for planning
That's
NHLC, and they were very simple what the funds would be used for, and that was it. That's what I was told. If you guys need something more, let me know.
Thank you. Can you get your copies?
No, we're good.
The Q1 survey.
I wanted to make sure I didn't forget it because I will. What is that?
So me and Kristen Bailey have started doing our resurvey of downtown historic buildings. We found about one block done. Woo-hoo.
That's awesome.
But Kristen has really stepped up. She's created a shared Google Drive that I can share with anybody else who'd like to see it, of her scanned copies of the houses she's done. We're just filling out the standard historic property inventory form that the SHPO requires for things like this. So it's relatively straightforward. There's just some
It's
things.
basically that entire
Yeah.
packet right there. We have to review all, we have to go through all of those and
Yeah,
re-inventory all
pretty
of those
much.
buildings before the end of this year, because it hasn't been done. So everything that's in that pack is what they're redoing.
Our downtown district was made in 84 and has not been updated since. Our historic homes district was made in 04 and has not been updated since. So,
1984.
And we're on the list for non-compliance for this
Yeah.
survey. So
That-
that's why we
that
have.
being
Yeah, that's not
said,
good.
I don't think we'll find that there is too much change. A lot of it is just making sure things still comply with their original historic nature, then that they still exist. That's really the gist.
There
of
are
it.
some that are just not on there,
Right.
or it's been torn down.
I saw you were asking people if they were, if anybody out there had a historic home, they wanted to get at it. Did we have anybody come back to us?
She wants to have her.
I may.
First.
So
Yeah.
are
There
you
you
close?
go.
Have
We
you
got our first
Have you
one.
closed on it yet, or not yet? Oh, she has, so.
Yeah, I'll start
Haven't closed
working
on the other one
with
yet.
you on that whenever you
Buying
want.
2 houses, a
have
summer
to.
house.
Yeah. Summer house just down the street from the other
I know,
one.
I got really tired of the winter home.
I'll walk across the street to the.
No, I do not want to clean two houses.
Now where you got the pool over there, the
Yeah.
hot tub. I get it.
Yeah, so it seems like there'll be a storm this weekend. I'm not sure how much further we'll get on that for a little
Right.
bit. But hopefully as soon as spring actually decides to show up, we can really
Next
kind
week
of
looks pretty good.
settle to the,
Beginning of Monday.
yeah.
I'm excited.
We haven't had any more volunteers sign up for that one that I'm aware of yet. So if you know anybody who's interested in a project, that's like boots on the ground.
And it's really easy.
It's easy.
just walking around your town.
She's made a really simple form and she's got like a tutorial. She'll go and show them how to do it. So it's not, it'd be great for people who just walk.
Mid-April.
Barb Tucker, I think, is interested.
Okay.
And she may stop on here in a minute.
Okay, Barb would be a good one for it. Anybody who walks around the town. would
Teresa
be-
Hopper would be a great one too, that we could reach out to, because
Her
she
and
walks
Reggie.
every day.
Mhm.
And yeah, Reg would enjoy it too.
So any of those people I think would be good candidates because they're already doing the steps to do this. So you-
And feel free, if, you know, you do talk to someone, just give them my information.
I think I'll do that, yeah,
And, you
okay.
know, I will certainly tell them what
I'll make a
properties we
note.
need done and how to do that, if they need additional instruction. Do we want to talk about the email we got yesterday?
Sure, I guess. Is Bruce online?
No, no
Okay.
one's online.
Bruce sent an email yesterday. I think he copied Nate and
Kim?
Kim and everybody on it. And he basically suggested that we hire a consultant to do this project. This is something that has to be done every year. And I kind of think the scope of what he's looking at is something slightly different. We're not going in and doing a assessment of the condition of these houses. Like, we're just saying, do they still qualify for the registry?
Sure.
That's simply all this is, and it doesn't take it does take the oversight of somebody like Jamie with a degree in this stuff that can actually say, yes, we're doing this right. But it doesn't take the boots on the ground. People don't necessarily have to have that same level of training. We're just trying to get the pictures, the inventory information, so that we can get back into compliance. So we don't necessarily need to hire a consultant at the level that he was discussing in his email for this particular project. Now, down the road, like if we wanted to do an assessment of a specific quad of buildings or something like that, that would be a different scenario, and it's unfortunately not on our table this year right now, just because of the scope of this project, that we do have to get done to be in compliance. So I haven't responded to him yet, and I kind of just wanted to wait and just make sure that everybody was in agreement with that assessment before I responded to Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they're looking at the pictures, making sure all the features that are listed on that document are still there, checking off and.
And so,
That
and-
detail work.
Yeah, and I tried to make it
Spot
as
back there, yeah.
minimally invasive for like the actual properties as possible, because people don't want us snooping around
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
their yard.
there it is. Speak up to that.
Oh, she appeared.
you.
Well, isn't that just handy?
But with that being said, that as far as that email goes, we'll go ahead, one of us will respond, and then just kind of talk to them about what we're doing, so.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and welcome.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Barb, do you know Jamie?
I think
We've met a couple times, yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the Western Cultural Center update.
Well, Nate ran away. He was a great one to have for that update.
Well,
We are,
we were just to recap what Barb was interested.
Oh, yes.
Okay, why are we talking about me?
Yeah.
So we're updating some of the historic property inventory forms that were filled out a long time ago for our buildings, and as someone who, 40 plus years ago.
they're required to be done every year, an inventory of all of our historic registry buildings, and we are out of compliance right now. So
Okay.
our big project this year is to make sure we get back into compliance. So as people walk around town, it would be nice if, we're basically just reassessing every single building that's
Yeah.
on the registry. So as people walk, if they want to like tackle, we have a very large list that we have to accomplish by the end of the year. She's made a very nice form and a little training process and everything, so like people know what they're supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
But it's simply snapping a photo of the building and checking some boxes on the form, very simple, and then just uploading them. to
So
the-
I don't have to talk to the property owner.
No,
No,
no, it's
okay.
all stuff you can do from the curb.
Oh, absolutely, I'm in. I love the project.
Cool.
I
So
thought
Jim-
that Teresa Hopper might enjoy this too.
Yeah.
So
So
did
Teresa
you-
and I, well, yeah, we'll never get.
And you can just,
I know.
if you can do one, great, if you
Yeah.
can do 20, fantastic.
I'll get you
know.
my email at the end of this and we can communicate. more.
Yes. Oh, but that's a fun job.
So, and that's one that you can just do on your own time.
Mhm.
And do we want to come back to the cultural center when Nate gets back? Or
I
is
don't
he
think
not
he's coming
coming
back,
back?
I think he split.
So.
So right now, I guess as far as the update goes, we're working on phase 2 grants. We have 2 grants going out, one on the 18th, which is the match grant, which will be we're asking for $200,000. The other grant is basically for this phase 2 section, we're gonna be asking for just under $100,000. So the match for the one will be for both years, the other one will be for this year specifically, because the West Virginia Arts, Culture, and History we have to apply for each year separately. So one is not the same thing. So just try to make it a little less confusing. Basically, what we're asking for this month is basically $300,000. So we're working on those. The 18th, we're almost done. We're getting really, really close. We are waiting for a couple more estimates. Hopefully Nate will get those to us and a few more, a bank statement, which we still need from Nate. And we're hoping to get a letter of recommendation from the county.
Will come tomorrow.
Yep, and we're just checking off our list and then going through, we're pretty much ready to submit that grant. Right now, the asbestos abatement is scheduled to be done on the 17th for the building. And then we were supposed to start the tear down, I think on the 18th. I don't know, I haven't heard back from Nate from that. I know that the council has awarded some bids and stuff like that. So we're working on the tear down. It's in process. I don't know the status of that. We're kind of gonna have to circle back with Nate to find out what's going on with all of those. And then we're supposed to be hearing back from Bryson, who's our architect, about bids for the roof and all of those things. We have a lot to get accomplished before June. June is our deadline for phase 1. So we're kind of like under a ticking time bomb and we're just trying to get that stuff done. So that's where we're at. We're trying to get phase 1 done, which is a lot in very little time, just because it took us so long to acquire that building. So that's where we're at right now on that. Do you guys have any questions about that? Oh, I guess I should note too that Chelsea, who's on the subcommittee with us on this, made a GoFundMe account. So we are doing a capital campaigns fund, soliciting private donations to go towards those matching funds. So if anybody wants to share it, I think we're up to just under $500 right now on that, which, you know, money is money at this point. And
Where is it?
it's on our, we have it on our HLC page, but it's
I didn't
also
see
on-
that.
I didn't see
I
it
picked up
either.
this like an hour ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
But also, just so you're aware, we have a new Facebook page specifically for the West End Cultural Center. So if you guys want to go ahead, it's on that page as well. If you guys want to go like that page and share that page as well, so we can start to get people to follow that page. Our goal is to really make this thing a separate entity because it needs to be separate from the HLC in the long run. It's not
And from the city of Weston. I mean, everything.
yeah,
has to be
ultimately,
its
it's
own
gonna be its
individual
own, it needs to be like a library or a museum, it's gonna be its own thing, and we need to really start branding it as its own thing from the very beginning. So if we could start liking it and posting the updates and stuff, you know, on HLC as well, but as our participation mandates, but really on its own, trying to get people to follow that and just get support that.
We did receive a letter of support the other day
Oh,
from
yeah.
the State Historic Preservation Office
Towards
for
our
this project, so
For both
that is
projects.
a good,
That's a very,
That's
that's a good
excellent.
sign.
We
Good.
got 2 of them, one for each grant.
yes,
So,
we're
yeah.
excited
Nice.
with your support.
The brick building on Main.
Um,
That's our little baby, our little baby
Cindy, do
building.
you have any updates on that one
Oh,
first?
we got it cleaned out.
Saturday was
that.
torture.
Saturday was a great day.
It was a great.
Yeah, it was really nice.
What was in there?
Plaster.
Architectural.
Oh, just the
Plaster.
walls. You're taking
Yeah,
the
it was
walls
just
down.
full of it.
It was all day. It took us all day. There was what, maybe 12 of
9
us?
to 3.
Yeah, it was a lot and we were filthy and it was gross, but it's done.
Um,
We have a subcommittee meeting this week with Lewis County first on that. So if anybody wants to participate in that, I think that is actually not this week, it's next Thursday. And it will be right before the Lewis County first meeting. So I think it's at 5 o'clock. Yeah, and that's basically gonna be sort of talking about what's going forward with our, I guess we'll discuss what we're gonna be doing in our repointing workshop in
Sure.
April. We still have, your brother hasn't gotten back to Jamie yet, so if
I
you
want to
wanna,
reach out to him again.
Did you leave a message?
I did leave a message.
Okay.
if you wanna just share the link, if he wants to sign up for it, he can just go sign up directly for the workshop.
I think he was interested in talking with you and see if he needed anything or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay,
Yeah, we looked at,
I need 2 people. I'll keep going in there and never actually follow them.
well, we can send you the link if you wanna sign somebody up. It's a week long and we need to get them in if we really need it. They said they.
Oh,
don't
no,
need
I
it.
was on there today and I was like, put 2 and then someone walks in.
so, the first day of the workshop
Is all classroom work.
is classroom work, but we, the part of that will be like a walking tour of town, so that Bob Yacht, the instructor, could show some like in the field examples of various states of mortar loss, etc. So we were planning on walking around on these silos as long as that's okay with you.
Oh, yeah, man, we can give you some help also, but it just focused over there. We'll bring him back for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I plan on having myself in my forum.
It's up to
Okay,
the
that'll be great.
subcommittee to determine the long term.
She'll have a quilt shop at that.
just like as part of that project, we did just today get mortar samples for Bank Alley that we'll be able to utilize in the future with trained
Oh, excellent.
tools.
So,
So,
one other thing is we have a letter of support that we will, I posted it, it's, we have one, we'll hand it out to anybody who wants it, but we still have, basically, we were awarded the $18,000 grant, but PAWV has to, or PAWV.
you keep saying that.
Dang it.
It's just PAWV.
Yeah, there you go. I try to correct myself, it just didn't work. But they have basically a little less than $6,000 left to come up with for their portion, and they would like us to help fundraise for that. Central Supply donated $500. So we have that letter. If you guys know anybody, even if they're only willing to donate $50,
That
you know,
may have
$5.
been what Steve was trying to talk with you about.
It might have been, we did get that
Because the
bit, that
donations
was.
I can
Yeah.
forward you that letter electronically.
Yeah.
So
He's
if
gonna
we
take
could-
care of it for us.
If you know anybody that's willing to contribute to that, I mean, we're not liable for it, but it would be very nice on our part if we try to help cover our portion of the match. So there's that. So we have that letter going on. I think as far as the brick building goes, Ray is working on getting electrical in there. He said he talked to Mon Power and he's got a work order number now, so he's working on that. That's what I know about that.
Oh, I know about that.
Okay,
Okay, the library signage.
you missed one.
And Ruth,
Oh, city building paint colors.
you know what, last time we discussed it, I know we discussed it, and then, was it last month or the month before that Brenda Reed stopped in?
Last month.
Thanks, Brenda.
She stopped in and she was on the HLC.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah, that was the original
This
color
was
of
the
the
original
building.
color.
Yeah, we shouldn't, I didn't realize we were talking
We
about
didn't
painting
know
a different
that.
color.
Yeah, we were.
Oh,
So, but we didn't know this.
oh, yeah, that's,
So
yeah, that was the original color of the building.
it just makes it so much simpler because it does, and lower cost if you're not changing the color.
So the building still needs scraped.
It sure does.
So I think at this point, we could just, if that's the will of the group, I think we just need to make a motion to repeal our original motion and go back to the original and try to keep it the original colors. It's really whatever anybody, you know, what you guys want to do.
Would someone like to make a motion to go back to the original? Do we have a second?
Second,
Sherry, all in favor?
aye.
All against? So moved.
So who's
Putting
painting
in the historic building.
It's gonna be our street department, is what I was told. So, but it still needs to be scraped.
I don't know. We may want to talk about hiring a contractor because our street department is so busy in the
Yeah.
streets.
That might
We
be,
may want to think about
and
that.
that's probably a project that we gotta talk, that Nate probably needs to be,
Mhm.
or Darby or somebody needs to be involved in, because that's probably not really, you know, the actual like work itself wouldn't be HLC. That would be more like whoever the, you know, building inspector.
Actually, yeah, if the city of Weston is funding it, it
Yeah.
would go through council to approve and
Exactly.
we would put it out for bid and then
So I think at this
we
point,
don't
we
have
just
to
need
worry
to.
about it.
Yeah, I
We
think,
just choose the paint
exactly.
and they buy the paint.
Yeah.
They figure the paint
Yes.
and how much we need.
So I think that's a conversation we probably just need to circle back and put back on Nate so that it gets done.
Sure.
So,
I agree with that.
Excellent.
okay, next.
Okay, library signage and roof.
Okay, so Katrina is working on submitting a grant. She's hoping she will be applying for a grant that we are also applying for. We're unfortunately being in competition for the same grant, but they also need, you know, facility stuff done. They need a roof. And she has asked me if I could help her with additional grants going forward on this. I haven't helped her on this one. This is one she's pretty much been able to tackle on her own, and it wouldn't make sense for me to help her on a grant that we're also competing on. So it's really, at this point, she's kind of got that one covered. She did ask if I would appear at the county meeting when she goes to it, because I guess last time she asked for funding, they denied her funding because she has to get approval for the match for that. So,
What is the match?
I believe their quote was like $77,000 for their roof, so it'd be 50%.
Mike had said he was gonna check into some other contractors.
And she had two that were supposed to be coming out there. One was a no-show, and I think the other guy's supposed to be getting her a bid on Monday. So I don't know if anybody else knows anybody else. I think she's definitely willing to get more bids. I think she's having a hard time getting anybody willing to do the bids. So
That's a difficult roof.
it is a difficult roof, and
It's
it's gonna
difficult,
require,
but just hard to.
yeah, it's a tall building and it's hard to get contractors. So it's a combination of both.
Yeah, contractors for no matter what you're looking for is real
Difficult, yeah.
difficult.
And as far as the signage goes, Danny Dunn left me a message. I have to call him back and he basically is ready to sit down and meet with me. I was informed by Katrina that he needs to go before the library board and get approval on that. I really
What
don't
is
want
the signage that they
He
want?
wants-
The Legion?
Yeah, the
Because the
Legion,
Legion owns that building, is that correct?
yes, the Legion owns the building, but I guess they have a contract with the county or something, the county maintains, I don't know, it's very convoluted. And Katrina is telling me that Danny needs to go before the library board to get approval on where he's going to put those signs.
So the signs are Legion.
The signs will be
Okay,
Legion.
so the library board used to have a whole set of guidelines on what can and cannot be in that lawn.
Mhm.
It's according to the deed,
Well,
right?
in the, when it was gifted to
Right.
whomever, there were, because we tried to put pieces of public art, and there was some concern because in the, remember that we weren't gonna be able to put art there. But so it's a little, talk about convoluted. There's
Yeah.
several different, and the Legion has a view and library.
Right, and it seems like nobody seems to agree, so I basically just said, okay, you guys gotta work it out, but Danny wants me to help him get signs actually created and made and figured out, kind of like the walking tour signs. Not really sure where he wants to put those, but I have to call him back, because he basically was working on them, and he said he would call me back, and I did get a phone call back from him, so I haven't been able
People
to
help
help
them. They might talk to Marty Dennison
about,
from the reference to the library, if you need to talk to anybody.
he's on the board, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well,
He's on the
Love
board.
that guy.
Dave Bush is on the.
Yeah,
He completely rekeyed every door at the
Yeah.
asylum.
wow.
Every door. Can you imagine?
208.
No.
No.
08.
How do you remember
Then
every?
the other one, Cell 709.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were all S keys, and
I didn't know all
everybody in
these
the country, it seemed, had
They're
keys to
special
the
sound.
asylum. So when, after I saw the mayor walking around the Watusi, he was walking around the property, he's like, oh, don't worry about it. He had like 5 people with him. He's like, don't worry about it. I still have keys on.
More-
And Maury came in like a week later and started rekeying every single door. Yep, he'll tell you about it. Ask him about the time he saw it right by the building. He was right underneath the cafeteria, right beside us. I was like, and I had no idea who he was. I'm like, he's like, oh, I'm the old bear. I'm like, all right. That's my first introduction. But yeah, that was really met him or talked to him since very much. Okay, the HLC logo update.
I don't think we really have an update.
So your daughter, you can talk about
She's
it.
a high school student, you know, we get what we get, guys.
Right?
We'll see it when we see it. I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay, well, look
We
at it
get what we
maybe
pay
next month.
for.
Look at it maybe next month.
I did get a contact for another graphic designer, should we decide to go a different route then.
So we will table that one until next month, and I will harass the teenagers.
I absolutely love small towns.
We do what we gotta do, right?
That's it.
I just put no update.
All right.
The comprehensive plan, partnership with the planning commission.
So it's underway. Basically, we are trying to, our first thing right now is Jamie was working with Dan on coming up with kind of like a script to make a public post to try to get a public meeting held. So start having our public meetings. We are required to have so many of them, and we want them to be spaced out fairly well at different venues and different locations throughout, Weston. So the comprehensive plan, we have about a year and a half to get it all done. But that's not very long in the grand scheme of things when we have to do all these public meetings. We only meet quarterly from planning commission. So from the HLC perspective, I think they would like us to work with them on the historic district portion. So I guess when we get a little further along, that might become a little bit more, I'm already at both meetings, so it's not like we have a lack of information going between the two. But as far as it goes, it's just, there's a lot to do and little time to do it, and we're not sure if we're hiring WVU to do that again or not yet. We haven't decided that because it's expensive, so we're sort of trying to figure that out right now. So if you guys have any, I guess, comments, concerns, thoughts about the comprehensive plan, because realistically, the last plan wasn't very useful. it was a decent plan. It met the guidelines, we met our state requirements, but it wasn't something you could really measure to. It didn't say, like in 2 years we'll have achieved this, or it didn't say how you were gonna get there or anything to actually be like a useful plan that you could pull out every, 4 months and say, hey, how are we doing on our plan? It just didn't have a lot of objectives. So do you guys have any thoughts on what you'd like to see in that plan? Or do you want to start just kind of brainstorming and kicking ideas back to the planning commission? Because I think that would be very helpful.
I think that's a good idea, or maybe using our chats, trying to go back and forth and try to brainstorm on it. I think everybody putting in ideas, and everybody reading them, I think that
And I
helps a
think
lot. things
just
like
figuring
this
out a
come
way
out.
that we can supply that information, whether it be in our chat, and then we just make a note of kind of the things that we would like to see included in that. I think some of it is the stuff obviously we're working on, but your comprehensive plan is a 10-year plan. So it's where do you see yourself now, and throughout that 10 years, where do you want to be in 10 years? So,
There was like a disconnect when I was reading through the comprehensive plan where it felt like some issues were raised with, how they feel the city could be improved, and then like their plan or response to that didn't really speak to those issues. And I think that's some of what needs to be addressed better in this upcoming one. And I think we would be all in agreement that one of those things, which we're trying to work on, is like the facades improvement, which is mentioned in that one. Not much is really said about how they could improve it.
I will say this, for this committee, we basically, like a lot of those goals that were supposed to happen over those 10 years, we checked several of those boxes from this committee in the past 18 months, which is good. So we can say like over the past 2 years, really, this group in the city, the city with the dilapidated buildings, that was another big one. You guys actually starting, getting stuff in plans and starting to see those come down. That was one of the big issues in the comprehensive plan. So it's not like nothing got done over that 10 years, but nothing happened until the very end of that last 10 years. So it's like, I don't think it was really utilized as a tool. It was just people saw those needs and kind of were addressing them. So it's not really useful to have a plan that we don't use as a tool. It's kind of just silly.
Yeah, need an outline.
It's a lot of work if it's a tool you're not going to use.
Gotcha. Any questions or further discussion about that? Okay, grants.
So where are we at right now? We have two. We have the one due on the 18th, which we already talked about, which is
PAWB, Saving Historic Places grant.
yes. So that one is the match grant. So I think we're on target. We're getting there. Like I said, we need a couple more things from Nate. We have another meeting next week with Victoria Blueprints Committee and everybody to kind of get on the same page for our 30th deadline for the phase 2 for the Columbia Club grant. That one's a little bit harder. We've made good progress on our capital campaign and our marketing aspects and stuff like that. We've made really good progress on our programming aspects of it. How we foresee like the building taking care of itself, how it's going to fund itself, how it's going to get income and those things. Those are the things we've really worked on developing this year so that once phase 3 is done at the end of 3 years, we don't have a burden that's enough, it needs to figure out a way to take care of itself and be a benefit to the community. So those are the things we've been working on to address, which is the things that they said they wanted to see us strengthen from our first grant. So those are the things we've been focusing on. I'm trying to think what other grants. I feel like there's so many grants.
The facades program grant.
Yep, the facades program grant for $750,000 was submitted. That's a no match grant. We hopefully get it, but if nothing else, if we don't get that one, we did a lot of the work to get that grant in place. So now we really just need to, we need to be looking for additional funding sources. So if you see grants that are eligible, that might be, pockets of money that we can apply towards the grant program, we really need to start looking for additional funds, because if we don't get that grant, which, 3% funding rate is a really, really tight grant to get approved. So even though we've done all that work, we have a good program, we kind of have all the details hashed out, not the nitty gritty details. We would actually have to have money in place and sit down with you guys and do all that stuff. But we have enough stuff to submit as many grants as we can get our hands on. So if we can find any additional grants, send them to us so we can get them submitted, because we need money to fund that program.
Yeah.
So.
And I will just say, like, we are their target audience though, so I think we should stay a little bit optimistic about that 3%. They funded several in West Virginia last year.
They did.
Wheeling, PWV. And I think one other, maybe Grafton, I can't quite recall. So we are definitely who they want to be
I
funding.
like the positivity from it.
I do, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Somebody's gotta have it.
She is. I would like, I see where you have the community grant handout, is that the handout that,
Yeah, we forgot to print it.
well,
Do you want me to print
lovely.
it?
No, I just want to, has everyone seen that?
It was nicely
It
done.
was such a lovely handout. They had it
Yes.
at the art by funding. I think everyone here, just kudos, thank you. I think it's very important that our community know what we're doing and what grants are out there. It's very exciting, it's very motivating. I think it's also important to keep track of the ones that we're submitting
Oh, there
as
it is.
well.
That's it.
There it is.
So in addition to that, we did create, since our last meeting, Jamie and I completed the binder. There is a binder, so if you want to look at any of them, it sits with her. So she is the guardian of the grant binder. So any of the ones we've applied for that have been funded are in there. We have to continue working on the just everything binder that's like anything we've applied for. That's gonna be a whole nother binder just because of
That's
the
good.
ones you don't get
You've
approved.
given me the binder for the grants?
What?
Yes,
This is great.
yes, we have.
It's in
that,
Yes.
it's blue.
and they
It's
also
somewhere in your
included
deck.
some of that.
You weren't here
council
that day.
I know, I gave it to her while she was in the meeting.
She handed it to you while you were in a meeting.
I did, I handed it.
Look
to
at her, she
while
looks
you were-
worried.
Okay.
We have 2 copies if you lost it.
Yeah.
It's about here.
It's blue, it's not very big yet, but the one she has is all the grants that are funded.
Yeah, that one is HLC specific.
Yeah.
So this has like everything that's in addition to HLC.
I think it's very motivating for everyone involved.
Agreed.
For instance, our police chief, when I found the grant opportunity, connected him with the lady at USDA. He took off and ran with it. And I don't know that he's ever done a grant like that for that much money before. He may have,
Yeah.
because they do apply for grant funding and stuff, but it's just, if someone, were to be looking at this, they
There
might
it is.
think,
Look at
they
that little
might
key
think,
binder.
well, okay, I'll start looking for
Sorry,
grant
it was a dollar
opportunities.
store.
And just email them, yeah. So the more people you can have out there looking at this stuff, the better.
There is a new grants database specifically for historic preservation. However, it requires a membership fee.
And I'm cheap, so I said I didn't want to say.
So I mean, I would like to say that should HLC
How much
get,
is it?
and I can pull it up for
Was it
you.
$80 or
It
something?
was like
like that?
80, 85 a year.
I'm willing to take care of that for us.
Okay, because I do think it would be a good resource for us. It's
Yes,
just a matter of.
I was just mad. I was like, why are they
Yeah.
charging you to look at
Yeah.
grant opportunities? I was.
Because they've collected them all
I
in
know.
one area as opposed to going everywhere.
Come on, I just finished
The
submitting.
price of
grants.
convenience.
I know.
Yes.
I know. I was so grumpy about it though.
And I just write a check to you guys and you can write a check to them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure, perfect. Thank you, Rebecca.
No problem.
And then.
Happy to help.
As far as other grants go, do we have anything else that I'm missing? The facade one we kind of talked about, it's been submitted, we just need to find funds, so. If there's anything else out there that you guys know of, I do have a couple things. The woman who gave us $2,000 last year, part of 1,000 went to the cemetery work and 1,000 towards the walking tour. She reached out to me again and she's interested in giving us more money. So I sent her, I know. She sent, I sent her a really long detailed email today and I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow and she might be interested in funding some more stuff at the cemetery. Her big
That's
focus
great.
is the cemetery. So,
She
you
has
know,
relatives in there?
She just forgot to put on there, cemetery update.
that's okay, I just did it every grant. But as far as that goes, starting to get private donations for that and starting to reach out to people like, that have plots there and start trying to get them interested in maybe fixing their family plots as a means of trying to get little sections done at a time.
Do we have a list? We have a list of the people in there somewhere.
I have a
It's
very-
a non-comprehensive list. We're not sure it's complete.
I have 350 people on my list that are in there. So it's a pretty long list.
We could actually do ancestry.com and find the relatives in the area.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's unmarked graves, my list is like, I mean, I have an entire like reading binder just full of them, and I try to have them grouped by families, but there's some that clearly, it's a little confusing, especially because some of them are so old, some of the names don't make sense and stuff, so.
Do we ever bury the bones?
We've been collecting them and keeping them in one spot.
So we haven't
But
buried them
do-
yet.
Well, we need a process, we need to figure out where that's gonna be.
So I think one of the things we were kind of waiting for, I know, was to speak with the ground penetrating radar specialist.
So we're
Because
not actually burying a
Yeah.
whole bunch of graves.
well,
but-
his
Little
focus
Miss
is
Halloween.
clandestine graves, so I don't
What I was
know
saying.
that
Oh,
that's-
okay. Gotcha.
Right now, the
Oh, I get what
procedure
you're-
that you're supposed to do is basically make
A little mass grave.
a little mass grave, and all those bones are supposed to go in that, and that will be part of our cleanup this spring.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good story.
Oh, and we have fencing donated.
yeah, okay, so we have several things, I guess, that should have been, like a little cemetery update on here, but I mean, I can skip to public comment.
Yeah,
And we
be
can talk
fine.
about that, okay. So yes, a woman in Morgantown is going to be donating us iron fencing for use at the cemetery. The street department said they will help install it.
So that'll help us get that front corner,
Yeah.
make it look like a nice entry again.
It's very
so.
nice. We're just waiting for better weather to go get it. She
Sure.
said
It's
she
in our
has
yard.
a longer driveway and she's worried about
How
the
did she
mud.
know we
going.
needed it?
So we met her at the monument repair workshop we went to in
Oh.
Morgantown. She is part,
Connections.
yeah,
And
she
we actually had her and her friend come down and help us.
they did a
look
little
at-
consultation.
Yeah, our
Um,
cemetery, they're older and our cemetery is not very safe to be walking around,
no,
so
it's
she
not.
wasn't able to help
Right.
us with our cemetery. They helped us a little bit with some advice and things like that, but one of them had just broken their ankle like
Mhm.
6 months before. They're really scared. It really is not.
They are
It's like
older women,
hiking.
so.
It's like hiking up
No,
there.
it's
It
tough.
really is.
Yeah.
And there's some sections that are steep and stuff, so.
And
it was-
holes.
And it was a little,
And
it was,
bones, yeah, trees.
there's a lot going on up there.
Yes,
So there's
bones.
that, we still have the gate to install.
I don't know if Mike got the gate installed. He
We'll
did.
check over.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see, but Mike is gonna install that gate that was over there. He's gonna go get the gate that Randy fixed, put back up there, so.
And then lastly, I gave this update at the last Lewis County first meeting, but for anyone who wasn't there, we are doing ground penetrating radar with a specialist. He unfortunately has been delayed because he was contacted by the FBI to work on 2 cold cases.
Oh.
He has to take that.
They all
I
fit together.
know.
I watched
Um,
Dateline.
But he's really excited about it all because this gives him a good excuse to get some new equipment, which then he'll be able to utilize. for the
That's
first
very
time
cool.
outside of that at our cemetery, which, of course, with FBI, he's not really allowed to say much about the work he does, but we
So
don't
he's
even please
excited.
come here and talk about everything.
But like, talk about everything you find at ours, and he really liked that.
So I think we're probably now thinking more of the April round with him. I need to contact him in probably about a week
Mhm.
and just see where he's at with those and see if there's a more accurate timeline available with
That
him.
is so interesting.
I know.
I'm really excited about that.
Well,
I
there's
do
that
think-
Phantom Cemetery that everybody thinks is on the other side of the asylum over on, well, behind it, going towards the new complex, or not even new anymore, that I think Snyder
Mhm.
made.
Yes.
And they swear it's right over there. And I would love to get somebody over there with one of those.
I mean,
Maybe he'll have free time and want to go check it out.
I mean, he is
We can
planning
take a
like a
picnic.
long weekend. He might make the time available.
I mean, that would be super interesting. The people that own the house and everything, they said they've never done anything over there because that's what they've been told their entire
He's
lives.
coming with his whole grad student class because he teaches classes on this
Oh,
at
yeah,
Youngstown
that's
State
how-
That's
University.
gonna be a fun thing.
So we are very excited about
Yes.
this. He told me he plans on staying at Stonewall and making them all tent somewhere, so he's
Oh,
very funny. He's
Bring a
very
few people up and scare them.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So, yeah, I'll let everyone know when I have a more accurate timeline on that after you start those cold cases.
Excellent. Anybody else have anything for public comment?
We do have a call in.
They might have a, it's, is that Bruce? 777?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, Bruce, we're at public comment. Do you have anything to add?
On regard to what? Any item of the agenda?
We're on public comment.
Oh, okay. I was just curious, the reference to the comprehensive plan and the partnership with the planning commission caught my eye. So I was just curious as to what that was being proposed.
So basically, the planning commission had just discussed about involving the HLC, and basically just similar to how we're gonna reach out from the planning commission, reach out to all the groups and try to get their ideas and feedback for the comprehensive plan. At this point, as a group, we've just decided that we're gonna kind of brainstorm what we would like, or feel is important for the comprehensive plan and send that back to planning. So that's really all that is right now.
Oh, okay. As I say, I was just curious about that.
Yeah.
So that sounds fine, and that's That's part of the normal process anyway.
Yeah, and so basically it's just us kind of as a group getting on the same page so that we all can give something back to planning commission that's cohesive.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
Awesome. Anything else for public comment? Our next meeting date, second Thursday?
April 14th.
Just keep messaging me right before the meeting. Because I completely forgot all day of it. And I was like, oh.
Still at 5?
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll say,
All right,
I guess everybody's okay with.
everybody agree?
Everything okay? Did we miss something? Oh,
No, I just said, I voted.
Oh, you voted.
To adjourn. That's what I was doing.
Right.
Well, I was looking at because I was looking at Facebook page. That's what I was doing. I
Rebecca,
was distracted, I'm
could you
sorry.
answer a question for me?
Sure.
I
Yeah,
made
what
a
does
copy
that
of
mean?
these. What were these for? But I made a copy. You sent it to me. and-
That's what Robert sent me.
Yeah. But
Okay.
we did replace those.
We
Yeah,
did,
it's done.
So we
We
just-
found one.
so he just,
Mhm.
he-
It was $150 some for
Oh,
one globe.
yes, but it matches and
It
the
looks
brick lighting
good.
is done. Now, what he's talking about as far as
the
the
cool
light
one,
bulbs,
yeah.
yeah,
You know, I'm pretty sure that I have these bulbs. Is it a standard, it's a standard size light, or is it the ones that are like this?
I do not know. The street department put it up. I don't know.
And there's 9, is there 9 or 6 total?
I don't know how many bulbs are in each light, and I do not know. But I will tell you that as far as this goes, that I can tell if it's off, but it is not like, it's out of my wheelhouse. I tried to experiment at my house and I,
What did he say it
Every
needed to
color.
be in the cool
Go.
to natural?
it doesn't look.
Yeah,
Number, yeah.
So,
and actually I might have one, which kind of messed that up. I'll look at that first.
well, anyways, these are done now.
Okay,
This
So
bridge
we
is
can
done.
just call that finished?
So yeah, I'll just tell them, hey, it's all done.
And the
Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We found it, we got it.
Carrying those around.
Hmm?
I said, so we can stop carrying those around.
Yes. All right, kids. Thank you.
That's a quick meeting, huh?
That was our quickest meeting ever.
I think we got it down pat, me, you, her, me.
I always like when I was the secretary, the same person moves the motion, the same person seconds, so I can just cut and paste, move by, second by.
Yeah, we probably do need one for your file.
Judy, does this automatically go to YouTube now?
Yeah, you just need.
Okay, because it's like not responding, so I'm not sure if it will corrupt the file.
You said that's what Barb, do you know what's going on with the art stuff? Did she ever, is it just that nobody's doing anything?
I'm off board, as I told you.
Yeah.
And when I meant